Hi folks, this is Jack Spirko with another survival podcast video. Today I'm going to try a new method of solar cooking, and I have to be honest with you, never done it before, so I don't know how it's going to work out. But I got an idea one day. I was swimming in my pool, and I had a bottle like this, just a cheap old stainless steel water bottle that I kind of forgot about, left out in the sun, and it sat in the sun for a while, and I came over and I knew I wasn't going to drink it, but I opened it up and I poured the water out. It was hot enough that it felt really hot on my hand. And I thought, you know, maybe this can be combined with a few things and turned into a little mini solar cooker for making things like soups or rice or things like that. So that's what we're going to try to do today. We're actually going to make kind of a vegetable chili, I guess we'll call it that. Just something I whipped up. I'll give you the recipe quickly in a second. And of course, the full recipe is in the show notes. So make sure you check the show notes in any of my videos. Whenever there's a link or something you're looking for, I usually include that. So what I did is I said, well, I got to improve the performance of this stainless steel. So we're going to actually do this with stainless steel. We're going to do this, and this was just spray painted with black spray paint, nothing special. Could you buy a black bottle? Sure, but most of them are shiny, and I figured flat black would be better at retaining heat rather than reflecting it. But again, we need to improve the performance yet again. So the next idea I came up with is, see, air actually acts as a very good insulator. So what we'll do is, after we get the bottle ready to cook, we'll go ahead and open up a Ziploc bag for each bottle. We'll place the bottles in a Ziploc bag in the sun. When we do that, that retained air should improve the efficiency of the bottle. And then one other thing, just keep a nice square of heavy-duty aluminum foil, and of course that can be kept right inside your bottle along with the bag. And I'll drop that on the ground for now. And I'll actually, after I show you what to do with these, I'll be setting them up and repositioning the camera, because I'm in the shade, which is good for me, but not for solar cooking. So what's neat though is, once we have these set up, if this works, and again, we're going to see how this works. I've got a thermometer. We'll measure the temperatures of both bottles after they've been in the sun for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. We'll see how it does. I'll give you the ambient temperature. The water I'm going to be putting in here came out of the tap at 75 degrees. We'll see how much rise we get. But this could be soup out of a can. This could be anything. This could be maybe a small one-portion Mountain House, or a larger portion broken up between two bottles. What I did is I built this out of the Harmony House stuff that I've reviewed before. This is an example here of the type of thing. This is jalapeno dices. Now you could use your own dehydrated vegetables. I just have a lot of this around from when I bought the big sampler to do some reviews with, and haven't got to many of them, so I thought I'd whip that up. So what did I use in this recipe? I used a tablespoon of celery. Again, these are all dehydrated vegetables from Harmony House. 2 tablespoons of tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of white onion, 1 tablespoon of carrot, 2 tablespoons of potatoes, 1 tablespoon of, what is that, jalapenos, 1 tablespoon of sweet peppers. And in addition to that, I used about 3 tablespoons of their dehydrated pinto beans. These are not like dried beans. If you try to do this with dried beans, I don't think you're going to get very good result. These are actually cooked and then dehydrated beans, so they only need to be warmed up in hot water and rehydrated, sort of like, I guess, Mountain House's freeze-dried beans and some of their things. So I put all that into this little baggie. Now, you could actually, you pack that in a vacuum sealer, you can keep that in your bottle. You could have this thing completely self-contained for trail food, as long as you're going to be out at a time when it's going to be sunny out. So here we go. All we're going to do to make this up, oh yeah, one more thing. I use this Oriental Farms beef bouillon. I think this is probably the best stuff out there as far as taste and quality, but you could use cube bouillon as well. All we need to do now is simply take our bags and dump them into our bottles. I say simply. We'll see how well that works. Again, not done this before. Okay, so I'm going to let that bag go, but I've got the process down now. Check it out. One more ingredient that I forgot to mention, there's actually a tablespoon of chili powder in here as well, in addition to that teaspoon of that beef bouillon. Push the neck all the way in. Once you get the neck of the bag, the neck of the bag all the way in the neck, actually feed as much of the bag in there as you can. Inside the bottle, the bag is much wider open than it is in the neck. and then you can pop that out. So that's the easy way to get it all in there on the trail without any kind of a funnel. So now we need to add water, and we won't fill these all the way up. We'll fill them about, I guess, 3/4 of the way up. And again, 75-degree water right out of the tap. Nothing special about it. Might have to add a little bit to that. And we'll give it a stir. You use a stick on the trail. I'm using the back of a wooden spoon here. Give it a stir so it gets integrated. Throw the lid on it. And I'll pause the camera and I'll go where I'm going to set these up in the sun and show you how I set them up. And again, much like the last video I did, I don't know what the results are going to be because I've never tried this before. I think it's time we start doing videos on YouTube like that, folks, where instead of like perfecting it and then putting it out there, we give it a shot and see how it works and we all learn together. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back and in reposition. As you can see, I'm right in the direct path to the sunlight now, and I haven't created any kind of a special reflector with the foil. I've just simply used some plywood here because it's windy. If you were, out on the trail somewhere doing this, maybe you could use some rocks or something to hold the ends of it down. We may try some experimentation later with actually shaping the foil and seeing if that makes a difference. Today I just want to see if it'll work at all. If we can get enough heat, I'll be measuring the temperatures after we leave them sit here for a while. And I think if we can get a temperature of around even 150 degrees, we'll get plenty to warm things up to where they're comfortable to eat. Maybe not to do any cooking, but if we take things like we're using here today, it won't be a problem. So how are we going to do this? This is pretty daggone simple, folks. We're going to take a Ziploc bag. And folks, that thing's hot already, man. That really is. Let's put it in there at sort of an angle to get it to close. Do the same thing with the other one. And of course, as the air inside these bags heats up, we'll expect to see them expand a little bit. They'll retain some heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to go set the timer for an hour. After an hour, I don't expect them to be hot enough to eat, but I'll come out here, I'll take a temperature reading on the two, we'll seal them back up, let them sit another maybe hour, hour and a half, and see if we end up with something good to eat out of this.